Up, the flu season in San Luis Obispo County is in full swing.
Teenagers and adults on the autism spectrum are taking the stage on Saturday nights.
And later, a new club has been created for students interested in media and entertainment.
Broadcasting from Swanson Studios, you're watching Mustang News.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Mustang News. I'm Emma Withrow.
And I'm Kayla Berenson. Here are the top stories for this week. This year's flu season shows no signs of slowing down. Mustang News reporters Lauren Ibsen and Emily Fagenstrom caught up with the local physician to find out more.
12 San Luis Obispo residents have lost their lives to this year's influenza strand. Why is this year so bad?
The predominant strain is type A H3N2, which circulates intermittently with other strains. It tends to be a bad strain. It also seems that this year that the vaccine is not as protective as it has been in other years.
Penny says that although the vaccine has not been entirely effective, it can still be helpful.
Some of the best advice for avoiding the flu is still to get a flu vaccine, because even if you get sick, it is likely to be a lesser form of the illness. Hand washing is the best protection. Do it frequently, do it consistently, and do it well.
Penny says washing your hands with hot water for 20 seconds frequently is key during peak flu season. Flu season typically peaks between December and February. So what's our best bet these next few months?
Stay away from anyone who looks like they're sick. Tell your coworkers or your fellow students to go home if they are sick. They're not helping anybody.
Lauren Ibsen, Mustang News.
Flu shots are available for all students at the Cal Poly Health Center.
Teenagers and adults affected by autism spectrum disorders can now participate in an open mic night. I attended one this weekend and caught up with some of the participants. The San Luis Obispo Autism Center has recently developed an open mic night for autistic teenagers and adults to participate in. On Saturday nights from 6 o'clock to 8:30, people from all different backgrounds come together to sing, dance, and feel included in an environment without judgment. The center's director, Dr. Deborah Balk, says there's a myth that people with autism don't want to be social.
Definitely, as you can see tonight, people are really happy to be here. They finally have a place to be able to have fun and be themselves and not have to kind of pretend to fit into what we call the neurotypical world.
The Autism Center works to bring together and empower children, teenagers, and adults to improve their quality of life through programs like Open Mic Night.
It was nice to, I guess it kind of came out of my shells, so to speak. And, you know, I learned to be more open, more trusting people.
In a world full of people attempting to be the same, the Autism Center sheds a light on those who aren't afraid to stand out. Emma Withrow, Mustang News.
Cal Poly has a new club on campus called SLIME, which stands for Student Lovers of Interesting Media and Entertainment. Meetings will consist of group discussions and guest speakers, in addition to planning out events for club members such as open mic nights, group improv sessions, and movie nights. Club President Jessica Cristiano hopes to bring together students with a wide range of interests from film and acting to photography and music.
We want to use meetings to either discuss skills that we want to already improve upon or develop, or we can I want to talk about like how media and entertainment kind of interact with each other, or just what we think about certain movies or entertainment and media things.
Club meetings will take place every other Thursday, with the next meeting planned for Building 186, Room C100.
A new proposal plans to split up California into two separate states. Mustang News reporter Nicholas Gonzalez gathered some opinions from students on campus about this issue.
I don't think like anyone would ever like vote for that to happen, because like there's been like that state of Jefferson proposal for the past like couple years, and that never really gained much momentum.
It's like gerrymandering to like the highest extent, just trying to like squish all of the more left-leaning people and the more right-leaning people, and I don't see how that actually makes for a good exchange of ideas.
I've lived in both the rural part of California and the main part of California, and I feel like they sort of both need to work together in order to make California what it is. I just think splitting it up is not going to help anybody.
San Luis Obispo community raised their voices at Mission Plaza on Saturday for the 2018 Women's March Rally. Voices of Resistance rally focused on women's and minorities' accomplishments. Guests of all backgrounds gathered in Mission Plaza to hear speakers and watch performances. Organizers of the event emphasized the importance of taking action against inequality, especially with midterm elections coming up in November. For more information on how to get involved, visit womensmarchslow.com.
Coming up, the multicultural fashion show at Cal Poly.
The thing about broadcast is it's not just on paper, so now you're actually seeing people's emotions and their reactions, and I think you just really learn a lot by being able to go face to face and also have a camera and capture those emotions. And broadcast is so fun in my opinion because you can take what you see and show it to your audience and show them exactly what you're witnessing or other people are witnessing at the moment.
In this day and age, everybody gets their news from social media, and my team's pretty much in charge of making sure that Mustang News has a great presence across all social media platforms. Whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat, we want to make sure that our news is reaching our audience. At Mustang News, we're truth tellers. We're student media, but we're going to do our best to tell the truth of our people and the voices of the Cal Poly campus.
Sports is mostly good news, and a lot of the time, a lot of the other news we get isn't necessarily good news. And so I think that it's kind of a nice break from a lot of the other not so great things that might be happening around the community and on campus. I think that good journalism is objective and informative. It is as unbiased as possible. And I think that Mustang News does a really good job of that, reporting about the incidents on campus without necessarily putting a spin on them.
Good afternoon, Cal Poly. I'm Michelle Chatfield with your weather update for this week. You can expect to see mostly sunny days at the beginning of this week with a high of 69 today and a low of 42. Later on in the week, the weather does decline though, with a high of 61 on Thursday and a chance of rain. Moving up into North County, up in Paso Robles and Atascadero, you have a high of 63 and lows in 30s. As we go down to the beaches, the weather stays mostly in the 60s with a high of 65 in Avila Beach and a low of 46, and a high of 66 in Oceano and a low of 46. Moving down into South County, a high of 59 in Napomo with a low of 42, and Santa Maria and Orcutt staying at 66 with a low of 42. Now over to Austin with your sports update for today.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm Austin Linthicum here with your Monday sports action. The Cal Poly Strength and Conditioning program is a key part of an athlete's success at Cal Poly. And at the helm of it all is Director of Cal Poly Strength and Conditioning, Chris Holder, who has worked as a coach for over 15 years.
Day and age right now, a athletic program that doesn't have a strength person they're trying to lose, just because everybody's got one, and it truly is an integral part of the successes and those things for all the teams.
Team and athlete specific workouts in an effort to make Cal Poly athletics as successful as possible. As part of Cal Poly's renovation this year, the track and field team got an updated track. This newly renovated track includes many upgrades, from runways and pits to a new cage for discus throwers. Track and field athletes felt the difference the first day they set foot on the track.
My first thought was, what a beaut. It's a beautiful track. Kind of like Jacob said, they've been in talks since we've gotten here as freshmen.
Since freshman year, we need a new track.
And it's just like, we totally thought it was never going to happen. My uncle, who ran here in the 80s, was like saying, even then they talked about redoing it, and they never did it all like really, really nice,
To reduce some wear and tear on the athletes' legs and injuries overall, as well as attract new and better recruits for the program. In her last year at Cal Poly, Senior guard Din Leopepe is adding to the record book. Dylan is now in the top 5 for career points at Cal Poly, as well as a top 15 career rebounder. Her twin sister Lynn Leopepe is also in the top 20 for career points and the top 15 for career rebounds.
It's bittersweet. I want to make this year my best year yet, and to put Cal Poly on the map and just finish it out with my senior class and, play every game like it's our last.
On the road before returning to Cal Poly to take on conference rival Hawaii on February 1st. We'll be right back.
Our mission for this year is to basically get the news first so that Cal Poly students are aware. So far, to start off the beginning of the year, there have been things such as parking and bus routes, and students have so many questions about that, and so that kind of goes to what I want to do for this year, and is I want to get that information out to students. Good journalism means that we are getting the story out, but that it includes all the information, that it answers all the questions that people are asking.
Cal Poly held a multicultural fashion show this weekend. Michelle Chatfield attended to speak with some people.
Culture Center hosted a multicultural fashion show on Saturday that showcased both multicultural and queer fashion.
I didn't get to see the multicultural fashion show last year, but I saw pictures and it was gorgeous. And I was part of the trans fashion show last year, and that was really cool, but it was really small. We didn't have a lot of an audience. So the fact that we got to combine this and got to include really everyone from all walks of life was really, really cool, because sometimes you can feel really alone on this campus.
The show was put together by a group of volunteers and members of the Cross Culture Center.
For me, I'm definitely interested in fashion, and I was super interested in seeing the way that the barriers were broken through the multicultural perspectives that were shown so far today. And I was, interested in seeing different ways that I can use the aesthetic in my own wardrobe and different things like that.
Michelle Chatfield, Mustang News.
Cal Poly's Orchesis Dance Company is taking its audience back in time with its concert titled 80s Mixtape.
Although this is the dance company's 48th annual show, this is the first year that it has a theme. Students and staff worked alongside guest artists to bring the 80s back to life using music solely recorded between 1980 and 1989.
Even with a theme of being in the 80s. So as compared to the other shows, it still feels almost the same, because none of the songs, all the sounds do not sound similar.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Saturday in Spanos Theater. Tickets can be purchased online or at the box office. The psychic medium John Edward visited Cal Poly last night, where he helped to connect the audience with their lost loved ones. From a young boy, Edward believed he possessed psychic abilities. With practice, Edward harnessed his skills as a medium. Over the last 3 decades, he has helped thousands of people by predicting future events and communicating with the other side.
I'm still somewhat of a skeptic, yet there were some instances that was pretty profound, and that makes me want to question my skepticism.
I just know that our loved ones that have crossed over can communicate with us in a powerful way.
For more information about the psychic, you can visit johnedward.net. Well, that's all we have for Mustang News this week. You can follow us on social media or log on to mustangnews.net for more continuous coverage.
I'm Emma Withrow.
And I'm Kayla Berenson. Have a great weekend.